Gentlemen, welcome back to another episode. Man, I need to address this because I've had some people ask me this. Why do I say gentlemen? Because to be honest, I think in all of my years of posting content, I'm 25 now. I started posting content at 12 years old, maybe a little bit younger. And I don't think I've ever had more than like a 5% female audience. So saying gentlemen just feels like the right thing to do. But anyway, today, the topic I want to cover today is speed. Now, not you just got new shoes, how fast can you run in them? Speed. Not how many horsepower can your car put out? Speed. Speed of implementation. As I'm going to come back to this again, like probably every podcast, when I was at the acquisition.com workshop, they were very, very keen to tell us that the smartest people and the most successful people at the workshop were going to be the people who implemented the changes the fastest. The people who were going to leave the workshop, maybe do a dinner with some people they met there to network, but then go back to their hotel room and work their face off for the next 7 hours, come back to the workshop, and then do the same thing again. And that was a little bit of an eye opener for me because where I'm from, a lot of the businesses took 30, 40, 25 years to grow to the point where they're at, to where the owners are now successful, or what I guess is typically deemed successful, where they're able to afford the nice cars, the big house, the multiple houses, and their business is doing 8, 9 figures a year. And in that kind of space, here at least where I'm from and where I grew up, a lot of these guys were okay with it taking that long. They weren't impatient like a lot of us are now. They weren't itching to get ahead right away. They knew it was going to take time and they were okay with doing that. However, it's a different game now than it was back then. Not to say that speed or patience aren't both important today as well, but today the speed of implementation is everything, especially with AI and everything that assists you in that. And it just doesn't make sense to take your time on a lot of these small things, on the things that can be undone, on the smaller decisions that aren't going to hurt your business, that aren't going to hurt your brand, your personal brand, even your reputation, anything. Act quickly. The faster you implement, the faster you test, the faster you fail, or the faster you succeed, the better off you'll be. I don't know if I'd call him a friend. I have an acquaintance. His name we'll leave out of this podcast for now, but basically we found each other on TikTok. He was looking for other Canadian business owners and we connected with each other on there. And so we had a couple of calls just chatting about what his plans were to grow his software companies. And something he said stuck out to me like crazy because I'd never heard anyone say this. He said, I want to move as fast as I possibly can because I want to either succeed as fast as possible or fail as fast as possible. He said, if we succeed, we're going to be like all these other unicorn startups and we're going to keep growing. We're going to get VC backed. We're going to make a pile of money and then either we'll sell completely or we'll just scale it to a certain point and that's just where we'll be. Or on the flip side, we're going to fail. I understand the idea is not valuable to the market. I'm going to move on to the next thing. And that really stuck with me as something that was super, super cool. And his words echo in my head so often because that's never been a mindset that I've had, but it's a cool belief to have. And I think it was a cool like belief breaker for me in that you don't have to take things as slow as humanly possible to grow. And it was really cool because I mean, having the exposure only essentially to these really like these companies who have just a really long timeline for success, it was very interesting to have that conversation and have him share that with me. But today was an example of when that was actually relevant because I had a meeting with some clients today and they gave me feedback, like feedback personally. Like they follow me on my personal socials and things like that as well. I've been working with them for a couple of years and they let me know like, hey, like this is how we feel because of the content that you post and because of the language that you post. And using that as a gauge, and the only real feedback I've gotten from somebody in the industry that we serve on my personal content and my personal branding, I thought it was such a cool thing and a cool way for me to um, to improve and to implement those changes as fast as I possibly could. So after the meeting, I came back to my office and I updated certain things. I updated our website to be reflective of his feedback. And I made notes in my own personal brand documents and my content guides that I have for when I make stuff like this to change the language I use and to respect the feedback that he gave me because he was vulnerable enough and open enough and confident enough to give me that feedback. And I think that not all feedback is valuable, but I think this stuff absolutely was. So it was really cool for me to get that feedback. Even though it wasn't positive, it was nice to get some of that where I actually at least have some bearings for where to take it and where kind of the edge of where I think good copy and good script writing is versus where it actually lies in the eye of my ICP. So that was a pretty cool thing. And so one thing that, I learned from the acquisition workshop that was reinforced through my friend, we can call him that, my acquaintance, whatever. And then again today is that if you act quickly and you implement quickly, you're going to be much better off. You're going to succeed at a lot higher rate than you would if you just implement incredibly slowly. If it's something that could be reversed, could be undone, and if you're at scale to where you're able to do that. Because if you're doing 100 million bucks a year, I wouldn't. I don't know. I haven't ever been there, so it's hard for me to advise on that. But I wouldn't think moving super quickly on big decisions is a good idea. But once again, I haven't been there yet, so I'm not 100% sure how to do that as of today. I'm sure I will in the near future, but that's not where we're at today. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's kind of cool. I was driving in my car on the way over here to record this, and I was thinking like, oh man, what could I call this? What am I going to talk? Like, how am I going to do this? But then like Lightning McQueen popped in my head. I was like, I am speed. It's like, yeah, you kind of have to be at the early stages of business because if you can implement, fail, learn, grow, if you can have that loop as tight as possible, dude, from my experience, you're going to get so much further ahead. Like even with landing pages, we were running ads to landing pages for, I think it was 2 months just to basically fill up the pipeline a couple years back. And if a certain landing page didn't work or if copy wasn't helping us convert, we changed things. Like it was within 48 hours. Like I know that testing is quick for people who are in the industry. They'll know like, hey, probably needs more time. But with the amount of traffic that was being pushed through, I don't think we needed to wait 3 or 4 days to see it. I personally, I don't think you need to, but there might be some contrarian beliefs. Leave those in the comments. Let me know what you think. But yeah, man, I don't know. That speed thing has been something that I think a lot of newer entrepreneurs kind of don't necessarily think about, but it is pretty freaking important, especially if the acquisition people were willing to put that into their scripts and into their speeches for day one and have that kind of be one of the first things that they say. It has to be important, right? So that's what I got for today. I hope this helps somebody out there, even if it's not with business, even if it's with, I don't know, just life, with work, with, I don't know, talking to girls, with video games, whatever it is, man. Just take the risk fast, learn, and grow. But that's it, man. I hope you have a great day. God bless.